All right. So if anyone's going to join us, we're coming to you live from the Torres Straits, and you might be going, hang on, they're in a house. Why are we in a house, Pascal?
We're at our friend Rafi's place.
Yep.
We're above his cafe. He lives above his cafe on Thursday Island in the Torres Straits. So.
Yeah, and he's been very kind. He's let us come into the house, and we're actually using his internet because the internet we've got on the boat is incredibly slow.
It says there's 34 people, 51 people there. So
yeah.
If you're there, send us. Hi, Ryan. I'm just going to quickly put a link on Facebook just in case anyone. So Troy, you can chat to people.
Yeah.
We won't see your comments for a second, but.
Yeah, we won't see your comments. Pascal's just madly busy on the computer at the moment. So this is a good time to ask any questions that you've been storing up. We can answer it in live time. Try and keep them above board. Sometimes when we're answering comments, there's just all sorts. So we'll just see how we go on this one. As you might gather, we're new to all of this. Okay, I've got lots of experience in sailing and chasing fish. Oh, look at all that. So yeah, just be patient with us. As people can see, we're just learning how to film, aren't we? We're not filmmakers that learning how to sail. We're sailors that are learning about filmmaking and, of course, the internet. So what do we got, Pascal? I've got no glasses, so you're going to have to do the comments.
Hello to everybody. I've seen all your comments, but I don't think we can say hello to everyone now.
Well, we got people from Europe. That's amazing. Thank you for staying up late or early or getting up early. I'm not sure of the time zone, but oh, this is fantastic.
Okay, do we plan on leaving in Australia soon? Oh, how did you two meet? Okay, all right. Do we plan on leaving Australia soon? Not soon.
Not soon. Okay, so let's just give a rundown on our plans as they stand at the moment. Yep. We have had a good response from Patreon, and we got to the crux of it, where we were deciding whether it was financially viable to continue free range sailing, or we're going to have to go back to work.
Yeah.
Because we can actually earn reasonable money when we're not sailing. But listen, the people, the generosity we've had from Patreon and donations through PayPal.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely PayPal.
Yeah.
People that reached out through PayPal, it's been amazing.
It has been amazing. Yeah. And so listen, guys, it looks like we can continue. It's financially viable for us to do this. So we've been weighing up. We're definitely sailing down the east coast. Okay, so if you're anywhere between Torres Straits and Tasmania, we'll probably catch up with you, and people can get on our Facebook and find
where we are at any given time.
At any given time.
Yep.
And we're still tossing up, sailing across the Great Australian Bight back to Perth and completing a circumnavigation. So when we get to Victoria, if we've got the funds,
which is right in the bottom of Australia. If you don't know Australia, it's there's Tasmania, the little island, and Victoria is just above that in the mainland. So yeah.
So if we've got money in the bank, I'm going to re-rig the boat so it's sturdy as anything, and then we're going to cross the Southern Ocean, go and see our family back in Perth, complete the circumnavigation, and then come back. So that's a good time to be in a market for a clansman, because she's going to be re-rigged and everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
And if we make our Patreon goals, which will be coming out later after we meet this first goal, we will invest our life savings in a world-capable cruising boat.
Blue water boat.
And don't worry, we're not going to just go around the trade winds. We don't do it that way. We've got something planned that's pretty kind of crazy, but it'll be a lot of fun. So that wraps that up. What else, Pascal? I should have worn my glasses.
Oh, you can't read it.
I can read it, but I'll look funny trying to squint at it.
Well, someone asked us earlier how we met, so perhaps everyone seems to be asking that on comment section. So we thought we'd save that for a live chat or a chat with us personally. Yeah.
Once, as you might have guessed, once I was walking down a lonely beach and I found a lamp in the sand. No one's going to believe that, is it? No, my sister got married, and amazingly, she invited me to that wedding. She didn't know any better, and Pascal was there, and we met.
Yeah, I'd never met Troy before. I just went to I knew Troy's sister really well, Rebel, and yeah.
So we met and became friends, but it wasn't until quite a bit later. Pascal indirectly heard that I was off to the Kimberleys, and
Then I gave a little poke.
Yeah, on Facebook, and we got to chatting, and the rest is history. And we've both been counting our lucky stars ever since.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've made a great team. But
it was our first date. It was 4 months in the Kimberley.
So you might have seen
On the yacht.
You might have seen that Pascal is quite brave in just doing the stuff that we do. But imagine going with someone that you know just a little bit about and trusting them into the most remote area of the world for 4 months on a 30-foot boat. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and then after that, I flew back down to Perth, and you took on the southern trip down to Perth in the yacht single-handed.
Yeah, I sailed 1,700 miles tacking down the WA coast, and that's hard. So it ended up more like 3,000 miles. And I did that solo. Okay, so that's 20 minutes of sleeping, 20 minutes awake, 20 minutes of sleeping, 20 minutes awake at 3 or 4 day stretches at a time. So I still look a little bit ragged just from that trip. I was very young looking and handsome before that trip.
The first Kimberley trip.
What else we got?
Education.
You both seem to have a higher education. Seems
you need to, but you don't have your glasses at all, do you?
No. All right, Pascal, you've got the high education.
Yeah, I actually went to law school, so I was a lawyer. Yeah. And I quit my job to go sailing with Troy.
So I ruined her life. No, we don't look at it that way. You've had a great time since. So yeah, Pascal's university trained, and I'm.
Sorry. Thanks, Tilo. Yeah, everyone, give it a thumbs up.
Yeah. So I learned all my stuff just by 20 years at sea. Well, before that, I did a lot of jobs, from picking up houses and putting them somewhere else. Tree surgeon. I was a rigger, and I'm a rigger again. But yeah, 20 years at sea as a skipper, commercial diver, marine engineer, and delivery sailor. So
lots of jack of all trades.
It's a mixed bag, as you might imagine, and just being a general scumbag, just sort of getting around, just picking up what I can.
Lots of comments about t-shirts. Yes, we are working on t-shirts. Do you want to tell everyone what our plan is, and if it works, we're really excited about it. So tell everyone about that.
Okay, we are. I'm so excited. I can't wait for Pascal to finish talking. So now the trade wind season is upon us, and we're going to do a hard slog to weather down to Cairns, 600 miles. But before we do that, we will go to the island of Bardu here in Torres Straits, and we want to meet some of the local artists that do great work. Can I just entertain the folks? I'll go.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we want to go to Bardu, and there's actually an art centre there called the Arab Art Centre, and they make prints, like lino prints, beautiful lino prints, and we really want to get a custom print to go on a t-shirt for everyone with our logo. But this is an example of one of the artists. So it's a mud crab.
Yeah, the islanders here do amazing work.
Yeah.
So if we can do a partnership with them, with 50% of the profits from any t-shirt sale going directly back to the Torres Strait Islanders.
Yeah.
Then that's the t-shirts that we're trying to get made. All right. Yeah. So something really unique.
Yeah.
And something that helps. The people in the Torres Straits are beautiful. They really are. So we
can't wait to show you the videos of the islanders. They're really cool people. So that would be helping us, helping the islanders. And I think it'll be a really great, unique t-shirt for free range sailing. So that's exciting. What else? Cooking. I guess cooking is from my background. Perhaps my grandma's French, and my mum is a great cook, and I've always been into cooking. So from a young age, I was baking and making different things, and just a real love of food and a love of providing for my dal.
That's me.
After my dal.
You can see I'm just. I'm getting real fat on Pascal's cooking. Some people have worried about my weight loss, but that's just my fighting weight when I'm sea. I go back to 90 kilos, but now I'm about 83. But it's hard to put on weight.
You've got a little bit more weight now that you've been on land for. We've actually been in the Torres Strait for nearly 3 months, so waiting out the cyclone season. So
that's right. So anyone that wants to keep a more accurate track of exactly where we are, get onto Facebook because we update our location. Obviously, the videos are a few months behind.
Yeah.
So that's the story.
Yep. So the next sort of 5 to 6 videos, there are some set in the Torres Strait, and then we did do a trip to the outer reef, to Ashmore Reef. So that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to putting those videos together and getting them out to everyone.
Yeah, that's great. And after we leave the Torres Straits, what we're about to do now is, like I said, a 600-mile sail to weather along the outer barrier reef down to Cairns. So you won't see what you're going to see on just about any other sailing channel. It's going to be clear water, hard sailing. Sorry, Dale, it's going to be hard sailing. It will be hard sailing.
We're sailing the wrong way down the Queensland coast. So
it's just, that's what we do.
Bloody typical.
But yeah, really amazing sea life. You wait and see. Wait and see.
Yeah, I can't wait to jump in the 100-meter visibility. I've never had that before. So
someone said they hope to fly fish with me one day. You're going to have to get in line behind Pascal's dad. He is agitating.
Oh yeah, my dad is like crazy about fishing. I think that's most of my family is crazy about fishing, except for my mum.
But she's a great cook.
She's a great cook. So I think that's where my love of fishing is probably in my genes a bit.
I just saw a quick comment. What's the most difficult thing about living on a boat that you didn't think was going to be difficult? We live on a 30-foot boat. So it's not necessarily the boat per se, but when I bought the boat, initially before I met Pascal, I didn't have any idea of the social aspect of sailing. So it's very hard for us to invite people onto our boat. And we'd like to change that in the future. One day we'll get a bigger boat so we can have our family and our close friends come and visit. What have you got, Pascal, to add to that? I mean, there's a lot of challenges, isn't there? Being stuck in a small space with me is probably hard.
That's all right, maybe. I don't know. It's just a bit. That's fine.
We manage it, don't we? We manage it. I don't know. We're pretty happy and content.
Yeah.
So that's.
I guess clean, being in a small space. The mold has been really bad over the wet season.
Any boat.
That's driven me crazy, having to clean mold every couple of days, because in the wet season it rains almost every day, and then sometimes you don't have any airflow or sunlight for a week. So you can imagine in a little boat, the mold situation can sometimes get a little bit out of control with 2 humans living in a little boat. So we were doing a lot of cleaning.
I know something that we could both agree on. We can't have chickens.
Yes.
We miss our chickens, and I miss having a dog.
Yeah. So, no pets and no animals is hard.
Yeah. A larger boat we could think about, maybe like a little Jack Russell or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
even having a goat or something, being able to have milk and
a goat
cheese.
On the boat.
Not on the boat.
They would eat all our sails. So Australia's regulations for where you can take animals, and we just want to access all areas. So we've had to forego that. So we're animal lovers, despite all the fish that we bring to an end. I do love them as well, but that's a hard thing. All right, Pass, what else?
Someone said win lotto, get a catamaran. Well, no.
Yeah, that's all right. I think a catamaran would be a great sailing boat for Northern Australia, but some of what we want to do, I don't know, I'm just a bit old-fashioned, but some of my friends have catamarans and they have fantastic boats, go really, really fast. I don't know.
Do we have a house together? No, our boat is our house. Marul's our home. We've lived on Marul for the last year, so that's our home.
Used to have a house, it's gone.
What does Marul mean? Marul is a town in New South Wales, and in the local language there, it's supposed to mean sweet water.
Yep.
So, editing is done on Final Cut Pro on my MacBook, my very dated MacBook. So funds from PayPal and Patreon are going to a computer fund. We might not even buy a MacBook because we want high processing power, but we don't want the big price tag.
Price tag.
We're thinking we're going to shift from Mac to PC.
Yeah, if you're one of our kind donors as well, Pascal has just got back from visiting family and she's brought treasures. And part of it is, look, a fantastic new Rode microphone. Most importantly, with this windbreaker.
Beautiful fuzzy gong.
So sorry to everyone that's supported us, and we really appreciate, despite all the in the background.
All the wind noise.
but we live outdoors. But now things are going to change, and that is directly attributable to you generous people. We couldn't have done it without you. We got to the very much no money stage.
I actually went back to Perth and worked for 2.5 weeks. Yeah. So we topped up the funds a bit, and then the launch of Patreon. I mean, it was really the soft launch because we wanted to have an actual video on Patreon, and we wanted to do a live chat to launch it.
Yep.
But we just got too busy. Like, I had to leave to go back to work, and actually had a couple of friends getting married back in Perth and wanted to see family because we had new nieces and nephews back in Perth. So I just scooted off, and we didn't have time, but everybody wanted Patreon, so we went for it, and we've been really amazed by the support and the
amazed. I've been overwhelmed by the generosity of you people.
Yeah,
you've really given back.
Yeah.
We set out and we wanted to share our country with you, and because we're proud of it, proud Aussies. And we wanted to give you guys good value first. You'll see that we didn't put any ads on our channel. We didn't have any Patreon or anything until we had about 28 shows.
Yeah.
Something like
30. I don't know, 28, 30, something like that.
We really want you to get great value out of this. And so for everyone to just spontaneously pay back, I guess almost paying it forward, that's I take my hat off to you. I really do. It's
your daggy haircut at the moment.
It is daggy, isn't it? Anyway, someone said about a drone. At first, we set out through the Kimberleys. We didn't want a drone. We had a bad experience about someone intruding our privacy with a drone, and it left a bad taste in our mouth.
Yeah.
I have been looking at the Mavic Pro.
It was also the cost too.
It's the cost.
We didn't want to. We've budgeted, and we didn't want to put that money aside for a drone. We wanted to get a good quality drone. We wanted to get one of the top drones, and we didn't want to fly it in the Kimberley, have an eagle attack it or something, and just lose it on the I don't know, the 5th or 6th flight or something like that.
If someone's following in our footsteps through the Kimberleys and they take a drone, I recommend that you just keep an eye on it, because I reckon
those eagles are aggressive.
you might get to watch a Mavic Pro snatched out of the air. Ooh. But we've been thinking about a DJI Mavic Pro, just because they're portable. That what they provide now wasn't available back then when we were looking.
When we left, which is it's a blessing in disguise, maybe.
Yeah, and if we do get a drone, it won't be just like the standard off and up. We think that they'd make a good third camera person.
Yeah, our roaming cameraman when we're doing our adventure. Like, imagine if we had, just fishing. You're talking about when we're on a fish, you can set up the drone to follow you as you're fishing without having to really be on the controls, because you set it to track you.
Yep.
That would be so cool.
This one here, underwater camera, is more important. Now we've got my friend Sammy, who's a fellow industrial rope access climber, because that's another thing another feather in the hat. He sent us his secondhand GoPro housed, and he did a bit of the underwater film festival with that. So there's underwater footage coming from Ashmore onwards. If any of you saw the How to Spearfish with Sharks, that was shot with that.
The GoPro,
All right, so it's not bad footage, and there will be. Look, we were devastated when both our old GoPro and that dumb Olympus camera failed when we were in Groot, with that tuna school.
Yeah, with that bait ball.
Oh,
probably once in a lifetime bait ball, and we had no underwater camera.
Horrific. And also when we did that crossing, the amazing nude video. When those
jumped in the water with the shark.
When those sharks came out, and those 30 to 40 sharks came zooming off the bottom.
Yeah.
It maybe doesn't show in the video, but I was so bitter that I couldn't film that for you guys. So, but we've got it covered. Yay, someone said.
Rex Poppy said yay a few times.
Yeah, okay. What's that?
Do you get sick of filming stuff? Sometimes. But we have a break, and we're never short of content to fill an episode for the week, are we?
Yeah, I don't think we've got sick of doing it, because sometimes it can give you a reason to go out wandering around. Yeah. It's a bit like owning a dog. Like we're sitting there and you just go, I'll just take her for a walk.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what?
We probably have more adventures because we're filming. Well, maybe not.
I don't know. It makes things go on a bit longer, and it is a bit more difficult, particularly if I'm doing maintenance, to think about filming.
Yeah.
But you know what? We look back at it sometimes, and I get to relive Pascal's giggle when she's fighting a fish, which you all love so much. I love it too. You know, like when I'm filming that, sometimes the camera's shaking because I'm laughing at Pascal laughing. It's an amazing thing. And we've both got little nephews and nieces.
Yeah.
As they grow up, they can see what their Auntie's skull and Uncle Toy got up to, you know. And if we ever have children someday, they'll also be able to see the same thing. So no, I don't mind the filming at all.
People are asking about the beer. The beer has been great flavour, but we are having issues with carbonation. So we've been back sugaring, and for some reason or other, I think it could be to do with brewing in the tropics, in the summer, in the heat. This is what I think it is. I think the yeast is exhausted. Like it gets the alcohol in there, so it metabolizes all the sugars at the start when we're fermenting it in the fermenter. But I think when we come to bottling it and conditioning it, I think that the yeast is pretty much dead. So we're not getting any sugar. Like when we back sugar it, we're not getting any carbonation. So it's been a little bit frustrating going to the effort of making the beer. But the yeast not having fizzy beer. We've been drinking it anyway, but it's not as good when it's not fizzy. Some of them have been a bit more carbonated than others. Yep. They've had a bit more alive yeast, I guess. Yep. But yeah, that's been a little bit frustrating.
I just saw a comment from David Macbeth, and we will see you in a not too distant future there, David. But they said, how long does it take to edit a video?
Right. A bit less time than at the beginning.
Well, the whole thing is that we need to shoot the footage for the day, and then we need to sort it, and we need to name it so it makes sense in the stream of footage that we want to include in the video.
Yeah.
Then Pascal does the lion's share of the editing. I'll make a few videos, like the shark video, and me and Dr. Andrew cutting into that pork leg. You know, there's a few little ones that I've edited. Luckily, I updated my Mac and it decided to refuse to talk to any of my video editing stuff. So we're a little bit stuffed there.
Yeah.
So there's a few hours in every video. We've got to find the music. Well, Pascal has to find the music. She's your DJ.
I'd say it'd be probably 10 to 20 hours for each video. Yep.
And then, as you might have experienced, if you've been with us for a while, we at least read every one of your comments.
Yeah.
And we put a little love heart just so you know that we've seen it and we've read it. And sometimes, you know, we answer. So if there's 200 comments, you'll often see that it might be 400 comments because we've answered them.
Pretty good at replying.
Yeah, we want to answer your questions. If it just keeps growing, you know, there'll be more love hearts and probably less answers just because we've got finite time. But we do want to help you guys live your dreams. That would be every time someone says, "Oh, me and my partner have just got a hold of a boat, and you guys have inspired us." We're just like,
We've had some good questions come through. I wonder if I can scroll them. One was like, what's our plan for a blue water sailboat? What's the best size for us?
37 foot.
37 foot is what we've decided. Just with.
I like the Pearson 37 cutter.
Yeah.
I like the Oldberg 37 because it's a big 37 foot Marul, but I think Pascal might think it's a bit slim. They're really dated.
It's slim like Marul.
Yeah.
It's built in the 70s, the Oldberg.
But beautiful. Go and have a look at the Oldberg 37 yacht, and you will see a little glimpse into my mind of what I think is a beautiful, beautiful boat.
If we won Lotto, we'd get a Hans Christensen.
Yeah, well, if we win Lotto, we'll just buy 2 Oldberg 37s and just join them together to get them around.
Come on, Dal.
A Hans Christensen 37 would be amazing for a proper hard blue water boat. If we spent those sort of shekels though, I would be wanting to go just short of the Arctic and Antarctic Circle. None of this fancy marinas no, we want
Alaska.
A dream location. BC in Alaska.
Yeah, that's one of our top of the list because someone asked us where we'd want to go first. I guess we'd probably go other places if we had to get there from wherever we got our new boat.
Yep.
But this is all in the future. I mean, this is at least a year and a half, 2 years away, or a year away. Yeah.
We've still got some hard sailing to do. Yeah, and hopefully you're there with us for that.
Yeah, definitely. What do you wish you knew when you first started living aboard a boat that you know now? Do you know, Troy? Well, you've been living on boats for such a long time.
Yeah, I've been living on boats for 20 years. I don't know. I wish I'd met Pascal earlier.
Maybe. Do we have an HF marine radio?
No, we've got a shortwave radio, so we receive only.
And you've seen that we receive HF fax,
right?
Black Cat on our iPad.
Yep.
Which I unfortunately smashed the other day.
When you know what? When I first started looking for satellite telephones, I didn't know much about it, and I wish that I had met, what's that fella's name? Global Sat.
Oh, the satellite guy in Perth. Global. If you're in Australia.
If you're in Australia and you're looking for satellite communications, look in the description for this when it goes up on air.
Yeah.
And I want to plug a guy that's helped. It's just slipped my mind because I'm getting old. Right?
Come on.
But just look in the description. If you're in the market now for a satellite phone.
Because what we had, someone just asked us about our communications on the boat. So at the moment we don't have a sat phone. We've disabled it because they're pretty expensive to keep them running when you're in civilization.
Yep.
And we've got a Telstra, which is the main national provider for communications in Australia. We've got a SIM card for that, for Telstra. So we'll be able to make calls most of the time, except when we're right out in the outer reef.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're in the market for a sat phone in Australia, look in the description when this goes and give that guy an email because he
helped us out with we had an Iridium Go.
Yeah.
So he helped us out with our Iridium Go.
But he's got ways to save you so much money.
Exactly.
He's really selfless.
Yes.
And
anyway,
just a great
we'll plug him in the description.
Yeah, we'll plug him then.
Thank you, M. Hen. He's given us she's given us $20. So very generous.
Wow. Thank you. What's the best way to learn how to sail? Go to your local yacht club.
Yes.
All right, and see if they've got twilight sailing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of yacht clubs, they want people to come down. It's free. It'll probably cost you a 6-pack of beer for the skipper. That's just a nice thing to do anyway. It's a social thing to do after work. You can go out, have a sail around the cans and come back and you will meet people. So the best way to do it is to do it.
Yeah.
That's the way to learn. You can't do it. You can watch us for tips. You're going to have to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
Like anything.
Yeah, someone asked earlier what my background in sailing was. I didn't really have much background in sailing. My granddad was a sailor, so I jumped on the boats with him sometimes, and I mucked around on little boats when I was in high school, but not really much sailing experience until I jumped on the boat with Troy. But it was great. I did actually do some twilighting with friends, like family friends who had yachts. So, yeah, that was good experience too. Yep. I kind of knew a little bit what I was in for. Not really, but I had a bit of experience before I jumped on with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I guess sailing experience, I'm coming up to just over 20,000 sea miles under sail. 20 years at sea, but only about 20,000 of those miles under sail. Pascal, you're probably 3,000 to 4,000 miles, I reckon, under your keel now.
Yep.
And it's all been pretty hard time. It's all coastal for Pascal. I've done a lot of ocean crossings, so they just quite easily rack up miles in a really safe way to do it. Crossing an ocean is neither here nor there. It's just such an easy thing. You stock up and 2 weeks later you're there and everyone goes, oh my God, you crossed an ocean. But all of those people having coastal adventures, they run the risk of grounding, getting hit. It's a lot bigger deal.
Uncharted rocks, especially in Australia. Like we're in places that are so remote, there's not, a lot of the time there isn't, like all the Kimberley stuff, a lot of that area was uncharted. So we had to have our Polaroids on and just,
yeah, we did a bit of four-wheel driving. Give me in the boat. But we met a guy in a trailer sailor. He was like, oh my goodness, and he made a big deal that we did these ocean passages. But listen, this guy was out there just with him and his dog sailing around, coastal sailing.
In this tiny, like 24-footer trailer sailor around the Kimberley with these big tides. Crazy.
And he'd done a bit of touch parking on the reef, you know, and he was still in awe. Oh, you crossed oceans. And it's like,
dude,
you point it, you set the autopilot, you look out for trouble as it's developing, and you go. In this day of modern communications, it's not that big a deal. But hats off to all of those people 20 years ago that were sailing up around here in the Torres Straits. No GPS.
Oh, the currents up here and the tides in the Torres Straits are just crazy.
They are crazy.
They're, you know, on one side of the island you can have high tide, on the other side of the island you can have low tide because of the two seas or the two oceans moving through here. Like we're right on the point of the very far north of Australia, and the water's just funneled between all these island groups, so crazy things happen.
We'll cover that in a coming episode.
Yeah.
Someone asked us about electronics. So I've got a main GPS, which is a Garmin Echo Map. What is it? 70X, I think it is. And then I've got another old little Garmin that I use commercially for years, and that's our backup. And we're also using Mind Maps, okay, on a tablet. Mind Maps is a GPS, but they use digital copies of Admiralty charts. They are beautiful.
It's really beautiful.
If you're looking at our latest videos, we're actually showing where we are on Mind Maps charts.
Yeah.
So we'll be when we get to Cairns, we'll have used that a lot more, and we'll give you a bit of a rundown on if and why we think it's a great option. They're not expensive. It's a computer-based charting program, but we like it a lot. Beyond that, what is it? We've got ACR EPIRBs ×2 and an Electrophone VHF radio.
Yeah.
Oh, and a couple of mobile phones and a pile of video making
we've
gear.
got a sail timer thing as well, but we haven't really tried that out yet.
Yep, sail timer, wireless wind indicator.
Indicator.
But we can't give you the skinny on that because we haven't tried that either yet. But by the time we get down the coast, 600 miles, we'll have the good oil on that for you.
Thanks, Zombie Coffee. Thank you, Gordon P, I assume. Thank you for your donations.
Why don't you do the vodka in the gills? We don't.
Oh, we don't even carry alcohol on board.
Yeah, Why
would you?
I've used ethyl alcohol. You can't. Metho is not going to be that great. I've used ethyl alcohol when we've done scientific collection programs because you have to have the fish whole. You can't just have a hole in the brain.
Right.
The fish needs to be studied, and that's the only real reason to do it.
Yeah.
We get a fish in, bam, it's stunned with the club, and then knife in the brain.
Straight away.
I'd rather have a knife in the brain if I had the choice than a lung full of alcohol.
Yeah.
I know it's pretty quick. You know, I was an aquarium fish collector, and we didn't use chemicals or anything like that. But the knife in the brain, it stops all electrochemical activity in the fish. That's why we do it. So no, we drink vodka and rum. I don't give it to fish.
Thank you, grateful. Very grateful.
Are there people sending us money while we're doing this?
Yes. Troy's.
Yeah. No. Who's out there? I'm learning to say.
South Frio. Hey, that's where we were. That's where we were living before we left. So, hello, Matt. I think your name.
Oh, did I call it Mind Maps? It's Memory Maps. Sorry.
It's Memory Maps.
Sorry,
Are you sure it's not Mind Map?
No, I'm sure it's Memory Maps.
Oh, okay. We've been calling it Mind Map in casual conversation.
Okay, Memory Maps.
Memory Maps.
Memory Maps.
Did someone correct you?
No, someone asked the question.
Right. Okay.
Where
can I send you a laptop? Oh, we've got one. Like we're broadcasting on my laptop that I edit on.
Yeah, that's very
generous.
Very generous. Anyone we've had offers of binoculars and things like that, and people have just contacted us again on Facebook. If you want to send us a message, Facebook, we get that on Facebook Messenger. If some people have been asking us quite extensive questions, we can't answer them all, and we do try and keep our advice and one-on-one time, like our expertise, for patrons.
Yeah.
Because they've come out and they're looking out for our best interests.
Thank you, Eric. Sorry.
Yeah.
And give us a thumbs up if you can't donate, but you'd love to support the video. Then hit up the thumbs up because it will plug. Yeah.
And we understand there's some people that aren't in a financial position, even to $1 a week. You know, they just can't do it. Look,
maybe you've got your own boat project and you're just, you know, while you're building your boat, you're watching us. So that's great. I think that was our main mission, to inspire other people.
Yeah.
To show our friends and family what we were doing, but also to inspire other people to get out there and do it. So. And
I can't say it enough. Those people that have contributed, PayPal, Patreon, whatever. Thanks from us, but thank you from those people who are in difficult circumstances, and we make a difference. People are in hospital. We're cheering up some people. They might not be able to help, but you're helping them as well as us. So that's amazing. When
is the food preservation episode happening? We'll try and chuck in bits and pieces of food preservation as we go. I've actually written a really long article on the computer. And I was going to put it on our website when we eventually launch our website, but we're so busy. So I will probably put the article for a preview to patrons. So that's a nice big article about food preservation. I'll work on that and get that out in Cairns.
We just filmed Making Biltong. That's coming out.
Yeah, we just filmed Making Biltong with Rafi, whose place we're at right now, doing this live broadcast from the Torres Straits, in case anyone was wondering, on Thursday Island. We are.
Did we accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Saviour? Well, we're very happy to to live with the benefits of Christianity. How about we say that?
Yes. Quite.
We're inspiring you.
Did we accept Jesus?
Well, yeah, I guess we accept a lot of blessings from particularly people in the south of America. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Don't buy a catamaran, lol. No. Not going to.
I feel like we've
Anything
had
else?
lots of questions, but we
Can we
scroll
see
back
any more?
up.
Hmm.
Corporate sponsorships. It would have to be a very attractive company for us to take a corporate sponsorship.
We would have to believe in the company's principles and their product.
Yes.
We don't just want the money.
Yeah, it'd be the ethos of the company, and like obviously we'd want complete autonomy as well. So
yeah,
be all those sorts of things.
Yeah, we're not that hungry for cash.
No.
We'd like to make free range sailing economically viable for us, but this is not a get rich scheme. So yeah, whatever. If your company is a great company, we'll support it for sure. Oh, and the other thing is we don't want to start every free range sailing with like a big like a billboard of different names. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy to say that we use a Rockner anchor just because they're a great anchor. Look, they haven't paid us anything. Good on you, Rockner.
Yeah. What luxuries can we live without?
I don't know.
Cannot live without.
What luxuries do we have? I kind of like my pillow.
I like nice bedding.
Yeah.
We've got good cotton sheets. What else?
Luxuries. Cocoa nibs.
Cocoa nibs. They're pretty good.
Tea.
Oh, nice tea. Yeah, we don't really rate Lipton tea, so we always get something nicer than Lipton tea.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we're totally. We are a little bit Spartan. I mean, if you saw our last episode, we were thrilled that our Christmas present was water.
Well, that was a while ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
The Christmas episode.
It's a 30-footer. We can't carry much.
To be like honest, the best thing, my most favorite thing, is just eating really good seafood, and you can't get better seafood than what we get. Like, honestly, you can't. You even go to. We can't even go to seafood restaurants anymore. Even the best seafood restaurants is just, I don't know. Well, maybe the top, but we wouldn't spend the money on them, would we?
No, we can't eat seafood when we go to restaurants anymore, just because it's more than 24 hours old.
Yeah. So we're lucky like that.
Hello from Texas. We've got a bit of a fan base in Texas. So g'day, Ken. Nice to see your comments so frequently.
Where are we going next? We've sort of mentioned that we're going to be going down to Cairns, but obviously we just mentioned that first we'll be going to Bardu, which is an island north of here, and that's where we're going to meet the artists and hopefully get some T-shirts made. So we can see
the likes on the vids, but we don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
What else?
What have you had on board that you thought you'd use and since gotten rid of because you didn't need it after all? Oh, there's a few things like that, isn't there?
I can't think of.
I feel like there's a few things we've gotten rid of.
The boat came with some extra fishing reels that I thought I'd revive, but you can't beat those TLD 25s.
We got rid of. We got gifted a whole bunch of brand new lures by a fan. Thank you, John.
Yep.
Very kind. And
we did
actually go through our lure box and get rid of all the lures that haven't performed. So that was good, clearing out some of the lures that haven't performed.
We were really ruthless. I've lived for a long time that if I don't use something in 6 months, it's gone.
Yeah, we get rid of it.
And when Pascal came aboard, I was a horrible, horrible man for about a week. I was like, oh, that's not coming on board. So, yeah, I don't know, Pascal. I don't know.
We just don't have space to have stuff.
There's not much.
So we have to think about everything we have. We've just added the sewing machine and the welder. I picked that up in Perth. So we'll see if we use them. We'll keep them on board. I'm pretty sure we'll use the sewing machine. We've got lots of projects in Cairns that we want to do. So we want to make new covers for the sails, and I don't know if you've noticed, the side panelings are starting to get a bit weathered. Probably saw them at the start of the episodes. They're looking nice and fresh, and now they're all frayed, and so
that whole boat's looking a bit frayed.
Yeah.
We need to use some of the funds to actually tidy them all up a little bit. So
yeah, someone said like our next adventures. Well, the next 5 weeks. So on Tuesday, that's why we're having this live chat, we will be leaving the Torres. Well, we'll be going north first and then going down to Cairns, but that will probably take us 5 to 6 weeks. And then we'll be in Cairns for a while. And we may, depending on the cost, pull out Marul and paint her and put some new anti-foul on her bum because she's had some hard mileage.
Yeah. Like me. These comments are coming in thick and fast, so we apologise if we haven't addressed your particular question.
We're sorry.
We didn't expect this response.
If you've asked a question and we haven't answered it, you could always plug it in again, and we'll see if we'll get to it. Yeah, I'm really sorry if we missed you. It's really hard to see them and talk at the same time, and also it's our first time doing this, so we might get a system. After
welding stainless is a money maker, and I can weld stainless. I just don't want to make my living from following a little bright dot. I've done a bit of builder welding, but I think if I'm going to stop and make some money, we might do it in Brisbane, and I might actually go skyscraper window cleaning just because I can wear a GoPro and take you guys along with me.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
If I go work on a gas plant or somewhere in mining again, hanging off ropes, I can't do that, and then Pascal has to stay on her own for a month as well. So,
do you use ham radio for communication?
Nope.
Do you make any Mexican food? We make chili, like we make beans if we don't have any fish in the fridge, a lot. And we make nachos if we've got corn chips. And we're going to get some of that cornmeal when we get to Cairns, so we can make those soft shell tortillas, and then we can make fish tacos all the time because we're just dreaming about fish tacos. We don't have that special, I think it's masha, I don't know what it's called, but it's the special cornmeal. It's been cooked a certain way that you can just make into a paste and make the tortillas. So. Yeah. We will be making more Mexican as we go down the coast.
Talking about cornmeal, whenever one of you wonderful Floridians send us a comment, I dream of the cornbread that I ate when I was in Fort Lauderdale. I love that stuff so much.
AIS, thoughts, Troy?
I like AIS, but we don't have it. Coming up the WA coast, it wasn't really necessary. And as we're going down to Cairns, we're going to stay completely out of the shipping channels. Yeah.
But also
there's no boats where we are.
And we're pretty vigilant. There's always one of us on watch. I mean, you have to be on watch anyway, watching the AIS, I guess. But.
Yeah, in my 20-year career, I only had AIS for the last 3 years of it. And Pascal is learning really, really quickly, identifying ships at sea. And there's a standing procedure or standing order that any ship that Pascal sees on the horizon, boom, wake me up and I'll have a look at it. And make an assessment using a hand-bearing compass and things like that. But, an AIS would be a nice thing as we go south of, say, Mackay or Brisbane. I think that would be a great addition.
Someone said something about Australian boat builders. Oh, yeah, Tim Weston and Ross Boardman. Do you know them? No. They have YouTube channels, so we will check it out. Thanks for that.
In the future, it'd be nice to collaborate with boat builders because despite what some of you think, there's massive gaps in my knowledge. So anyone that we find that's doing something for a living, we'd like to interview them and bring that knowledge to you guys out there in YouTube land. I know that when we get down to Cairns, I've got a few people that I'd love to get in front of a camera, help you guys catch more fish. There's some people down there, they're building their own boats, so they know a lot about fiberglassing and finishing. Not everyone wants to be on camera. Some people ask, you must have met some great characters. And we go, yeah, we have.
We don't want to shove a camera in their face. But...
We get to know them first and we ask permission. We'd spent quite a bit of time with Roland before we even broached the subject. When we see videos where someone just goes, wow, they've just met someone and they're on camera, gee, it makes my skin crawl. Because I'd hate someone to do it to us. So, yeah. You'll love cruising in British. I dream of the day I spend a week just eating nothing but fresh salmon
and salmon roe
and snorkeling in a salmon run. As long as a bear doesn't come out and grab you, it's the biggest crazy looking salmon.
What solar do you have, and is it enough? You want to talk about that?
Okay, solar, 150 watts of solar, and it's the
same as what's in our intro video, actually.
Yeah, it's an old BP solar.
Yeah,
it's enough. No, it's not enough. But when it's combined with the wind generator,
that's right.
It does fine. So 150 watts does probably, on a sunny day, 65% of our requirements, and on a cloudy day, 0. Okay, through the wet season, we've had to run the motor. So we don't have space for more solar, but now that I've fixed up our wind generator and it's pumping pumping amps out? Heaps. We've got plenty of power with a 400-watt generator and 150 watts of solar.
Do you have any problems with YouTube's unreasonable censorship? Not really, not yet.
Any censorship that you see is done by us. Some people go, oh, why have you censored it? It's like, sometimes we sail nude and we don't want to put clothes on to run the camera, but we censor it. You know why? Because there's people with families watching, and there's people that don't want to see nudity, and we like them.
And we
don't
really want to throw our nude bodies out there on the internet. So
for strangers.
Sorry, guys.
And we've seen some sailing channels, they get viewers by bikini-clad girls and sensationalism. And you know what? I don't think their audience really contributes to their ongoing. I know when we met Plucky or Peter from Sailing into Freedom, he went down that route, and as soon as the girls disappeared, he got dropped like a hot potato. And he was devastated because he thought he was making a great channel, but really he had people that were in it for the most shallow reason.
Yeah, and we don't want to be about that at all.
No.
No.
As you could probably pick up.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean, our main mission is to like teach people something every episode. That's what we try and do, isn't it? Inspire and entertain, but also teach at the same time through entertainment.
That's right. Yeah, we've got a bit of knowledge, and we'd like to share that with you. And it's not just about boobs and bums.
Yes, sailing nude is great for not getting clothes dirty, especially in the tropics, because it's like we're sweaty all the time. Like that Gulf crossing, I swear it was like 95% humidity, 98% humidity. Like you just walked around and your face was completely drenched. Yep. If you pause some of the shots, like when I'm eating sushi and stuff, there's just like sweat all over my face. It's insane. It's crazy.
It really is.
So yeah, not wearing clothes is just.
Adventure NL, thank you.
Walker Lawrence, thank you for that very kind donation.
Yeah,
thank you.
There's been a few, and we just.
Thank you.
How do you respond to all of this?
And if anyone else has donated and I haven't seen it, I'm so sorry, but we're just in the zone talking, and
Yeah.
Ciguatera. We haven't had really Ciguatera yet, but we're coming into Ciguatera country now. So.
Yeah, Ciguatera. I've had Ciguatera. And it wasn't much fun. It didn't really knock me about. It's I felt a little bit cranky for two weeks. So Ciguatera is mainly associated with damaged reefs, and as we go down the east coast, they've had quite a few events there's quite a bit of damage between Cooktown and Cairns actually on the reefs. So large fish will be off the menu, but we can still dive in and knock off the odd small trout and things like that. We'll just steer clear of big fish.
The smaller fish don't have the build up. The smaller predatory fish don't have that build up of Ciguatera in them, so you're safe to eat those.
Yeah, it's your big apex predators because Ciguatera concentrates in the fish. It doesn't affect the fish, but as soon as
like mercury, right? No, not really. Okay, sorry.
No. It's from dinoflagellates. It's a biological thing. It's not a heavy metal.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, so Ciguatera is a risk. And you know what? A little feed of sushi first. And if my lips start to just tingle a bit,
yeah, because you know the symptoms now. So you'll know if it's got anything we're not sure about. We'll just have a very small amount so that we don't have real bad.
And the symptoms are nausea. You get the 30-second warning, like, ooh, where's the toilet? And also anything cold. It's got this sensation when you're a kid, you lick the 9-volt battery, but all over your body. So if you jump in the water, which I did, you are out. Some people say it mixes up your sense of hot and cold, but imagine if you had the flu, when your skin's all sore and tingly and really uncomfortable. Well, times that by about 10 and have that for 2 weeks.
Yeah, disgusting. I don't want to catch Ciguatera.
You're not going to get baby.
Bitcoin and Ether, we want to set up a wallet. So we will set up a cryptocurrency wallet.
Talk to the brains of the operation.
Yeah, I've been looking into that. I think we talked about it briefly, but maybe you don't remember. That's right. We will be doing that. We've been busy.
I've been fixing stuff breaking down.
Yeah, so Troy's busy doing.
My mind is occupied by
real-time stuff instead of virtual world stuff. What kind of water maker do you use, and how does it work? We have
Catadyne Power Survivor 40E, and it uses 4 amps in every hour and makes about nominally 4 litres an hour. So for us, it's not too bad. Okay, we can turn sun and wind into water, but you need to be in very clean water to use it with just the 30 micron. You can up it to have a 30 and then a 5 micron, 2 separate filters in a line. It's suitable for us, but I wouldn't recommend it in a blanket recommendation. I think there's if you've got a larger yacht with say 400 litre tanks, I would, or bigger. You know, we make yachts with 1,000-litre tanks.
Yeah.
I would actually get an engine-driven unit that does something like 200 litres an hour.
An hour and just smash it out.
Go out to blue water.
Yeah.
Make a bunch of water, have a good expedition, and then come back.
Yeah. I saw one. Oh, how do we not get sunburn all the time? Well,
sometimes I do.
Sometimes Troy gets sunburnt. I hide a lot. If I'm out in the cockpit, I'm doing something normally. Otherwise, I'm hiding under the dodger or hiding in the boat, or I chuck on a shirt. Or if I'm going to stay out in the cockpit, I've got a rashie on, and then I'm just pouring hose water over my head with the deck hose because I just get so hot. So, yeah, rashies are great.
Can you do an episode on when and where sharks are? Well, they're kind of everywhere. Did you watch Spearfishing with Sharks? How to spearfish with sharks? Our next step after the Torres Straits, when we're heading down the coast, you'll see plenty of sharks. I guarantee it.
I saw something. Oh, I lost my.
Yeah.
What do your parents think of you traveling? My parents were dubious, and I think they're warming to it now. They see how much fun we're having and the kind of life that we're living. And my dad is bitterly jealous, so he was sailing a bit around New Zealand and South Africa, and actually was sailing in Australia before I met my mum and settled down with my mum. So yeah,
I think they were a bit nervous when they saw the size of the boat.
Yeah.
But since free range sailing, they've been able to watch, and I think their mind is put a little bit more at ease. My family's just happy to see the back of me.
Come on.
On a more serious note, if you're thinking about going sailing, you do have to come to grips with leaving family behind. We've got little babies that have just graced both of our families, and we miss that opportunity to see them. So that's something that people don't often consider. Like, oh, I'm going to take off on a sailing boat. Well, you know, like if you're going to be an uncle or an auntie or a grandparent or something like that, that will weigh on you in some measure. So just think about that, because family is important.
Us about going to New Zealand. That's another top 5 cruising destination. So we got like Alaska, BC, New Zealand.
Yeah. I don't know if I like BC or Alaska because I haven't been there, but I can tell you I love New Zealand.
Yeah, well, Troy knows New Zealand and he wants to go. So again.
Yeah. I actually, the last time I went to New Zealand, I went to a friend's wedding and we catered for that party with pawa and...
You free range catered?
Yeah, we went spearfishing. Some of the lads went and got deer. It was, you Kiwis rock. What else?
Antarctica is on there, but a few people are just asking about Antarctica randomly. But we would need to be a lot better funded so we could actually get a proper expedition yacht to go to Antarctica. That would be a big dream if we just really...
Listen, we're going to have to work up to it.
Yeah,
because
we're not ready for that yet.
I don't know. I'm a bit conservative when I put my skill set to the test. So the way we've staged our thing, we've done a big, that going up the WA coast is nothing to be sneezed at. It's a pretty significant challenge, which Pascal lived up to. And so we went through the Kimberleys, which had the big tides but warm weather, and now we're going across and we're going to be getting a bit of blue water sailing. I've done a bit of that, but Pascal hasn't. So what we're doing is each step sort of works up a little bit. In a perfect world, we've done the Kimberleys with the big tides and remote area, all the dangers that entails. So now we need a bit of cold weather to blend with that. And then, of course, if we went to BC and Alaska, that would be... that would really start jacking our skills up again. But we need better skills than what we have now to go higher than 50 degrees latitude in either direction, I think. When people bite off more than they can chew in the ocean, it is unforgiving, and I've seen a lot of problems. It's either a bit of Dunning-Kruger syndrome, all right? You think you're better than what you are, or alcohol that's caused all the problems I've ever seen at sea. And I've seen a few. Luckily, I haven't been involved in too many.
Tassie, yes, we're going to go to Tassie.
Yep. Hopefully King Island as well. We love cheese.
We've already, we're not going to recap stuff that we've already talked about. So a lot of the time we haven't answered your question is because you jumped in late and we've talked about it already. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
You can listen. We're going to publish the link.
Yep.
As long as the quality is fine. I'm pretty sure it should be fine. Is the quality okay for you guys? Because we don't have the best internet here in Australia, period. But we're also on the Torres Straits, so we're pretty remote. Yeah. So if you can see us okay, is it all right?
We need a pet goldfish. Someone else suggested a parrot, so we can have a match off there.
Boat dog. We talked about that. People keep asking us about boat dog.
John Madsen. He's gave us the thumbs up
Okay,
instead
so
of
people
smile.
are like saying it's a mixture of stuff. Yeah, some people have got fair, good. Okay, so it's all right. I mean,
some people have got good connection and it's making the most of our whatever connection. So some people are excellent, some are just fine, some are.
When we get to Cairns, we'll be able to hotspot our phone and have 4G, and I'm sure it'll be a lot better then. But at the moment, we only get 3G here, so we're actually just running on the Wi-Fi, and the 3G drops in and out, so we're just running on the Wi-Fi here. So yeah,
and
it's not ideal.
That's been an unexpected cost as well as I just didn't think of the expense of internet of making this channel as well. And that was it was a big shock. And we chewed through a bit more money bringing you free range sailing, and that's what
just
made
upload the videos because we had to hotspot our phones, and buying data in Australia is really expensive.
So that was one of the things that actually made us take heed and start a Patreon. But now, yep, it's all good.
Internet cost would probably be about $60 a month that we were spending on internet to upload the videos.
Well, it was $60 a month for yours,
and then your phone. So like it was around 100. Yeah, well, 70, but then also we had your phone. So we had my phone as the data phone because it's cheaper to just buy data as a whole, and then Troy's phone with the calls and the messages.
How are the stars at night? We wish we could bring it to you.
We're trying to practice doing Starscape. We can't really do it on the boat because the boat sways, so you need to be still for like 30 seconds to get those starscapes. But we've been practicing with our DSLR, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some time lapses to you in the near future. We'll see how we go.
Weapons on a boat. You know what? I did a armed cruise down the Red Sea. We actually pulled into Aden Harbour when the USS Cole had a big hole in the side of it. And I hated it the whole time. We did actually, a couple of fishing dhows came pretty close when we were getting down to Bab el-Mandeb or through Bab el-Mandeb at the bottom of the Red Sea. We chucked a few empty bottles in, took some shots, blew them up, and they turned around. They might have been friendly, they might not. But most of the time when there is serious pirates, they'll have automatic weapons. And all it takes is a nice strafe along the bottom of the waterline, your boat goes down, you're swimming around, and then it's going to be horrible. It's going to be one against however many. So we don't encounter pirates, so we don't need it for that, and we get enough food from the sea that we don't need a firearm. I'm thinking about getting a bow for bow fishing, but you've seen that we do okay with a spear. All right, so that's weapons on the boat. Those spears are pretty deadly. That about wraps it up. I don't think I need the extra hassle of the legislation in Australia. They're not that friendly to gun owners.
No.
It's another thing that I've got to worry about. Rusting. Yeah. Imagine I think if I was handling a boat fire, which I'm trained to do, if there was ammunition, I'd like a lot of rounds if I was sailing. Like I like to pop them off. I love to shoot guns; they're great fun. But if I was managing a boat fire and ammunition was in the mix, I'd be uncomfortable. So no firearms on the boat at this stage. Listen, if we get up to Alaska and there's hunting to be done, hopefully.
Someone asked us earlier about whether we hunt on land, so.
No, I have hunted in the past bow and arrow.
Yeah.
But if we get up to BC or Alaska, I'd like to meet some of our fans and hunt with them. But we'll come to that if we ever get there. It's a legal question more than
pirate encounters. No, not in Australian waters.
Not in Australian waters. We're pretty safe here. What I try Australia's serial killer. Wow.
Oh yeah, that's. Parallel burrito.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please hit the like button. Thank you, Patrick.
What's that? If we had kids, what would they do?
If we had kids, would we have guns?
No.
No.
That seems like an even better reason not to have a gun.
What's the coolest creature you guys have seen?
Oh, that's a tough question.
We use Final Cut Pro, Andrew.
I love manta rays, but we've seen a lot of bioluminescent animals as well when we're coming up WA. So things that glow in the jet black ocean. And when you're in bioluminescent sea. So you've got little animals or plankton that glow, bioluminescence when they get struck by something. But when you've got a sea full of that, when you've got dolphins and tuna, and you're sailing through and you see these things outlined in fluoro pale green, amazing.
Totally amazing.
So
people asking about man overboard. We haven't actually practiced a live.
We haven't thrown anyone in the water because in most of Northern Australia, you just pick up the head. But we've done, like when we've had things go overboard, I've got hold of Pascal. She knows.
Yeah, I pointed it, and then Troy directs the boat to where I'm pointing. Yep. So we've lost hats and things like that overboard.
But also get Pascal to steer back.
And I know the button to hit on the GPS. Each GPS has a man over button, so you ping that straight away as soon as you go over, and then you can track the current and turn the boat around. Obviously, I can pull the sails down. If Troy went over, I could pull the sails down, turn the boat around, and find him. But we haven't done a live one yet. But I think we should probably do one at some point.
You do man overboard drills with a crew of bigger than 2.
Right.
I don't care what anyone says. They'll be, oh, you've got to do this and that. No, what about life sling and stuff like this? When someone goes overboard, it's going to be big seas.
Yeah.
Getting someone back onto a boat, if I have done drills commercially, and look, it's really, really hard. It's incredibly hard. You can rig up life slings, whatever, but when a boat is pitching 2 meters up in the air and coming down, if that person's unconscious, unless your boat handling is really great, you're going to hit them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's dangerous.
I've done commercial man overboard drills, and they're not fun. So we're always.
I'm in a harness if it's big seas.
Yeah, there's a standing order that Pascal never leaves the cockpit.
Yeah.
On a night watch, even in good seas.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing about a 30-footer, you can't walk anywhere without having another hand grip like a monkey. And if you look at the pilot chart for where we're sailing, we don't really have experienced seas for the most part bigger than 2.5 meters. So it's not like the cockpit gets swept or we get pooped in these big seas. So we practice to a degree, but no one's gone in the water yet. And we don't carry around a rescue dummy or something like that.
Roughest weather and...
Roughest weather was not with Pascal on board. When I went down to Perth, it was 3 meter sea on a 3 meter swell. And you bet, because I was solo, you bet I was harnessed in the whole time. Particularly after I'd had, when you go down the WA coast, you're out for 3 days at a time. There's nowhere to stop. You've got to stay awake for that. All right, you sleep for 20 minutes and then you're awake for 20. Well, not awake for 20 minutes, but you get up and have a look around. The reason being is a lot of those freighters travel at 11 to 20 knots. They can come from over the horizon to your position in about 20 minutes. So you've got to wake up every 20 minutes and have a look around when you're solo sailing.
Thank you, Travelling Wilbury. And someone just asked about seasickness. I've been seasick twice in a year. I don't really get that seasick.
Nah.
There's a video actually when we're getting to Broome from Dampier. I'm doing a selfie. I'm feeling a little bit sick there. I'm a bit pale. I don't know if you remember that video. I think it's episode 5. I'm still pretty fresh. I haven't really got my sea legs yet. I'm a bit seasick there.
Yeah. Dinghy's crazy. Don't know how it floats. Archimedes has covered that.
And yes, we would recommend a porter boat to anyone. Someone asked that.
Yep, someone's there. Tethers, harness,
yes.
99% dead. We agree with you.
Vegemite on board.
Prevention is better than cure.
Vegemite
for Pascal, Promite for me.
For Troy.
So someone's going to be like, oh, God, she's more of a man than he is.
Where did Troy buy Marul? He bought it in
Cairns.
Hometown.
In Cairns,
David.
Yep. Just up near Yorkeys Knob. There's a little marina in behind there. And I bought it there and I sailed it down through a couple of gales later on her ear. Right. Did her up at the Cairns Cruising Yacht Squadron and sailed her down to the Whitsundays and then turned around and, sailed to Darwin. I forgot to turn around when I got to the top of the Cape. Have you ever seen a UFO? No.
Cat versus monohull. Did you want to quickly... Our thoughts on that?
Oh, Cat will get there quicker than we will.
Cat with the price tag.
Yeah. My train of thought when I bought Marul is this is my first yacht. I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. All right. I don't know if I like living by myself on a sailing boat. Even after 20 years commercial time, I didn't know whether I'd like it. So I just dropped a small bundle of money on it. but I also wanted a boat that was relatively shallow draft, but tight enough to get up into mangrove creeks because I knew I was going to have to live with cyclones. All right, cyclones was a big part of my thinking. I wanted to be able to careen it on a beach and repair it by myself. All right. And I wanted to, I've done a lot of anchoring out at the reef, and I know how severe conditions can get. Cats put a lot of strain on, and I didn't want to handle a big cat all by myself when the shit hit the fan. So I got a little boat to start with. All right. But otherwise, we've been on friends' cats, and they are beautiful.
Yeah.
So we don't think poorly of people with cats, and hopefully they don't think poorly of us. And that doesn't happen. You know, in the sailing community, everyone's just like, wow, you're here in the same spot. We got friends with like $250,000 cat. Well, more.
Yeah.
You know, those light waves.
Yeah.
To our friends who are over in Asia.
And we've also got friends that spent like 5 years doing up a shell, and they've got a beautiful cat now.
They've got a beautiful cat. I didn't do that. I spent a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Well, not really doing up, but getting it seaworthy.
Ready for the sea.
Gone.
Which I think is I think that's the right way to do it. I mean, I've seen meeting people and seeing so many people, like actual channels as well. They spend so much time doing up their boat, but they don't actually know if they like it on the water. Like, they don't have much sea time. They're just fixing up this boat for a year, and then out they go, and they're like freaking out, and they haven't really got the sea time. So I think it's good to figure out, if you get a small boat, and figure out if you like it, and then you can decide to have a project boat or not. Yeah. That's the way you've done it, and I've jumped on board doing it with you that way. Yeah. But it's been good.
And before we pile into some high-tech sailing vessel that can do 17 to 20 knots, I think I'd like to make myself a better sailor. Again, it's that Dunning-Kruger thing. Don't think you're better than what you are. Some of those things you can overpower and get yourself into trouble just like that. Marul doesn't get us into trouble. All right. She never overpowers us.
No.
Trouble is very gradual, and it's easy to recognize. And that's, you know, we're still here. We don't have, you see our channel, it's not like, oh my God, we did this and that. We're just like, man, whatever, you know, it's Marul.
Yeah.
You know, she treats us kindly. She's a good boat. She's a good boat for checking, for gunk holing, and just, you know, having a low key but fun adventure on the cheap.
We've done a lot of spinnaker sailing. I mean, you've seen that we've been in really light breezes for a lot of the time in the wet season. So.
We're going to be packing the old cruising chute away. It's all going to be head to weather for a while. Done it spinnaker only. Yeah, that nude crossing. We did lots.
Fishing where we had a fishing license in WA. We don't need a fishing license in Northern Territory or Queensland. We'll probably need a fishing license once we get to New South Wales and Tasmania and Victoria.
Every state's got different regulations.
States are different. Different states have different regs. So.
Yep. You just download the PDFs. You download the charts for where you can and can't fish, because there's lots of closed zones out on the reef here. It's just like any other thing covered by bureaucracy. All right. They make the paperwork available to you in varying degrees of difficulty, and it's up to you to know it. And we stick to it because we believe in fisheries. Okay, we believe in fisheries management. Yeah, we're probably even more strict on ourselves than we're required to. We never catch our bag limit. We try and stick to fast growing, high turnover fish. Yeah. Slow growing fish, we give them a pass. Those big apex predators.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's really great about spearfishing. I'm not going to shoot some big fish spearfishing. Like, it's too beautiful, and we don't need to eat a massive fish. So.
We're not trophy people.
No.
A fish like that.
Good for us.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, we don't really have space either. Then we'd fill the whole fridge with fish. It's hard enough when we get a big mackerel because we can't throw that back. So.
No icebergs in Australia. No, we're not reliving the Titanic. How do we get along so well? I think Pascal's got infinite patience.
Prospecting, no, we haven't thought about prospecting. Irukandji and box jellyfish. Well, we've been wearing suits pretty much. But it's sort of box jellyfish season's kind of over now until next wet season. So, but Irukandji is just something that's always there. So
yeah, box jellyfish associate with rivers. Okay, in their larval stage, they live up like little upside down anemones in the rivers. They get flushed out during the wet season, grow into those big things, cruise around eating as much protein as they can to lay more eggs up the rivers, and there they go. So around river mouths and coastal, they're a problem. Irukandji, we've just got to deal with them.
What about crocs? Well, we're still sort of in croc country now. Will be less crocs out on the reef, and as we get further south, there'll be fewer and fewer crocs. They seem to be a bit better behaved in Queensland.
Yeah.
I haven't
They're not
haven't
quite
really
so
been in
antisocial.
Queensland. So Troy said that they're not like in the Kimberley where they really want to eat you, and in Northern Territory as well.
They're diabolical.
They were stalking us all the time.
But Pascal doesn't think so. But crocodiles were a real highlight for me. Not being at the top of the food chain is I think it's good for your humility. I don't know. You are focused. All right. There's no need to go and practice meditation or anything like that. You hang around with crocodiles, big crocodiles. You are focused on the moment. I guarantee it. It clears your mind and focuses your attention.
Yeah. Walker's asked us how old we are. I am 31 and Troy is 44.
44.
Yeah.
I think, 45 this year. Yes, we do rely on electronic navigation. We do have paper charts on as well. But we've got a hardwired in GPS. We've got a GPS that I can unplug and put in a pot, which acts as a Faraday cage, okay, in Lightning. And we've also got a separate tablet with a navigation program, which is the memory maps, as well as paper charts. Okay, so.
Lionfish. I don't know. I haven't seen any lionfish.
What's the question about lionfish?
Oh, someone was asking us whether we try and kill lionfish. But...
No, the lionfish that you see people trying to kill in the Caribbean were introduced from here and Asia, from imported aquarium fish, and then they got out, and now they don't have predators to keep them in check. But as an aquarium fisherman, I've been stung by a few lionfish. It's a bit like hitting your finger with a hammer. Any carpenters out there, it's about as bad as that, and not a really bad one, just no big deal.
Ever caught a salmon? We caught a salmon in the Kimberley, but not a salmon.
Not a
salmon.
Not a salmonoid salmon, not a northern hemisphere salmon.
Paper charts, we talked about that. I mean, we've got electronics, but we try and get paper charts if we can. A lot of charts are out of production, so that was a good thing actually about memory maps is that can't we use that to print?
We could print off parts of the chart of interest.
Yes.
You can do that if you buy an additional license.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't know. It's getting towards like.
There's 109 different charts to cover the whole of Australia. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Each one's $30.
Yeah. So, and then you get closer. Is that the 109 like broad scale ones, or is that all of it?
It's the ones that you would need to navigate purely by paper charts.
We don't really have space for crew. We might take on maybe my brother or like very close family or very, very good friends. But apart from that, it's just too crazy. I wouldn't take anyone on unless it's someone that's pretty okay with sharing a very small living space. They'd have to sleep in the galley and it's just a bit crazy. We might have a friend in the Whitsundays for a bit, but we'll just keep it. We're keeping it loose. But
there's no set thing. I mean, we came up here, we met people that have been following our channel, and yes, they came sailing with us. But we liked them as people first. It wasn't any sort of reward or, anything like that. Just taking a friend sailing. That's all it comes down to.
No, we can't have fresh herbs. We tried that the first trip before we started creating our YouTube channel, and it was a big fail. The salt water killed them, the spray. We had to bring them in, tie them up. Like we had them in long tubes, and then we'd sort of tie them attached to the handrails.
It was hectic though.
It was just so much work, and it's not worth it. They didn't thrive, and it's too hard.
So catamaran owners, they'll be like, I grow the best basil ever.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you want herbs and a little garden,
get a catamaran.
Get a catamaran. Your videos, thank you. We love you too.
You've sailed a big sailboat when you did your delivery to Brazil.
Yeah, 85 footer. Took that from Singapore via the Horn in Africa in August, right? And then we took it up to Brazil, but I was doing that as paid crew. All right, I was on there as the engineer, and it was a cool cruise. So
we have been doing with mold. We talked about that earlier. To deal with it, we've been using vinegar and clove oil. And we also talked about Plucky. We did meet him in Darwin from Sailing into Freedom, and we heard about his tragic losing his cat. And that was after we'd been through that area, so we couldn't help him recover it or anything like that.
What's the longest distance you've ever sailed? Well, that Singapore to Brazil is 10,000 miles, isn't it? It's halfway around the world. Obviously, we stopped. So I guess the crossing up the west coast of Africa and then across to Brazil would have been the longest one hit distance in one go. So.
After we've done sailing, we're sailing for a while. for now.
Yeah, barracuda in Florida. I saw plenty of them. I think they're an issue either.
Haven't been to Canada, but want to go to Canada.
Yep.
I haven't been to the Cook Islands. Have you been to the Cook Islands?
No.
No, haven't been to the Cook Islands.
I've been to a few places, but not the Cook Islands just yet.
Other Australian sailing channels. We don't really watch that much sailing channels. Like, we don't have much internet.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't really have internet.
If you're wondering how we make these videos, we'll do a lot of filming, sort it. Pascal will do the bulk of the editing. I'll make some contributions.
In case you didn't hear that.
And we store up a whole lot. And then we come into internet range and bam.
Upload.
We're uploading them as much as our electricity supply and how much money we've got for the internet. And then you know what? We sail off again.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time away. And instead of watching other sailing videos, we are answering comments. Man. It's a full-time job.
We have a lot of respect for Sailing Catalpa. They're friends of Raphael, who lives here. He's met them. They came to Torres Strait, so they've got a channel. They're a family sailing on a ferro boat, and they're in Indonesia. So they're pretty cool if you want to check them out.
Yeah, doing stuff with a family, that's an extra level of challenge, I guess.
Oh, yeah, actually, I noticed that. People ask questions about music a lot earlier in the piece. Hopefully you're still here. So we've got a lot of friends that are musicians, which is great. So they've been sending us music. If you two have friends that would like to get some exposure on our channel, then that would be great for you to send us an email with their names and their artists and links to their songs, if they're down with that. And we also have we've been getting a lot of free music through lots of free music archive libraries on the web. We've recently got a subscription to Epidemic Sound as well. So now we've got a massive library of music to troll through to choose songs. So we think it's really important having nice music.
If you're watching this, we just want to say as well, a lot of our channel is trying to educate people and trying to give you great value. Make sure you look through the descriptions, because Pascal does put a lot into the links, so you can get that free music.
If you want that music. A lot of the time you'll be able to access it for free. So
cost you nothing. Yeah. So go down, it'll have the timestamp.
Yeah.
If you've watched the video and you go, I love that music, go to the description, okay, down there. Yeah. The timestamp, it'll say when it was. It'll say the title and the artist, and it'll have a clickable hyperlink. We spend a lot of time doing that for you. Yeah. So get into that resource. That description is a resource for you to use. And
also there's if we're doing like a how-to within the episode, like a useful how-to, we'll try and put that in with a timestamp. So you can just, if you want to watch the episode again, but you just want to watch the how-to again, you can click that timestamp and go straight to the how-to. Yeah. I think some people have liked that feature. So we're going to keep doing that.
Look, Kev says, hola. He's sent us some very nice messages. He's a new subscriber. So hola, Kev. Get to the Pacific Northwest.
I don't miss being a lawyer. No.
We want to get to the Pacific Northwest. Give us a couple of years, but we are champing at the bit.
Aluminium hull.
I don't like aluminium, okay, but that's just a personal thing. I think they're a little bit of a battery. I am a fiberglass guy. After being a commercial marine engineer, I don't like steel. I don't like aluminium. Wood doesn't suit my temperament. Fiberglass, if you can paint, you can fix fiberglass. There's not many problems. Real Crocodile Dundee? No, not quite. Get the dogs, maybe. Anything else there?
No, I think we've been on for a while.
Oh, it is. Wow. Okay.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. By the way, if you're really enjoying this, because we're going to publish it. There's some people that couldn't tune in. There's some patrons that we let know about this video. We obviously give notice to our patrons about live chats before they happen, so they can put aside the time to be here for us, be with us, and chat with us. So yeah, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and then we're going to publish it. We'll publish it to our channel. Yeah. We'll publish it. So those people that couldn't get here can watch it.
And the people that could get here but didn't get what they want answered, the reason is that these comments are going
real fast.
This speed.
Yeah.
And look, we're loving all the best wishes from you guys. Some of you trolls, it hasn't been that much. They're not very high quality anyway.
They're quite amusing.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say? Yeah, and also if you've asked a question, it may have been answered earlier on in the video, and that's why we didn't reply.
Yeah,
so
it is going to be a long video for you to watch, though. It's an hour and a half that we've been chatting to you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is free range sailing, Troy and Pascal.
Yeah, we're tuning. We're signing out from the Torres Strait, and we'll schedule another one for once we've arrived in Cairns in
June, July.
Yeah, 5 to 6 weeks time.
Yeah, and we'll try and work on getting to you guys in Europe at a more reasonable time.
And if we stop the videos for a few weeks, it's because we've run out of video uploads and we're still not in Cairns yet. So please don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're really sorry that we couldn't bring you a weekly episode. We're just sailing and
we're trying, but we're going to go away from anything for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you might just miss out a little bit.
Thanks, Jinx, too.
All right.
All right, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.